This is the plaintiff, his son Akins. He says he took his music mixer to the defendant because it was humming on the air at his radio station. And in an attempt to fix it, he drilled a hole in the thing, rendering it useless. The guy's a hack, and he wants the $738. He's out. These are the defendants, Sam and Raymond Yu. They say the ground screw was broken, so they put in a new one in a place reserved for additional inputs. The guy was in a rush. They fixed his mixer beautifully and have no idea why he now has a beef. They're accused of screwing up a mixer.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
How bad was the scene?
It was pretty bad. He threw a tantrum in the store.
Okay, were there other customers there?
No, thankfully there wasn't. But there were people outside.
What was he saying or doing?
I mean, he was just really just yelling and no one understood.
Who was the lady sitting
we
there?
had to speak to his wife.
This is my wife.
You had the wife?
And Your Honor, I don't know.
Was he throwing a temper tantrum in the store?
He was.
He was?
Come back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket, the plaintiff took his mixer, the DJ variety, to the defendant for repair. And the plaintiff says the defendant needed to drill a hole in the unit to make it work, and that's uncool. The defendant begs to differ. It's the case of screw this.
Hassan Akins, you are suing the electronics company represented by Mr. Yu. You've asked us not to use the name of the company, and we'll respect that, for $738 that you say they owe you for botching a repair of a mixer you brought to them, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Tell me about this. What happened?
Well, the week of October, the week before the 5th, what I did was I had a mixer that I had stored away in the closet. And,
Okay, and what is a mixer?
DJ mixer.
A DJ mixer that does what?
Play turntables, you can play CDs, you know, but I'm a DJ for using wax and vinyl.
Okay.
So, I make a long story short, I took it in to get the gentleman to fix it.
What was wrong with it?
Well, what happened was the inside of the cap head of the ground wire, what happened is it snapped off in the inside.
Okay.
And what I did was I wanted to get it fixed. Normally I had...
So what was the effect that caused you to bring it in? It was humming?
It was, at first it was, yes, it was just humming and no sound. It was just dead.
Humming and no sound?
No humming, and it was just absolutely dead at one time.
Okay.
And so now, every now and then when you plug it up, you hear zzz. This morning we tried it and you hear a little sound and it keeps dying on and in and out. But anyway, what happened is he ended up drilling a hole inside the mixer, and this end part right here was supposed to be fixed on the ground wire where it was, the head was off of it. Instead, he ended up drilling and creating a new ground wire. For what purpose, I don't know, and I don't know what purpose he served to drill another hole in it.
Okay, well, let me ask you a question. Is it accurate that when he brought it in, it wasn't working at all, just like he said?
No, it's not. He actually said when he brought it in that everything worked. It was just the ground wasn't working. And we...
Your plan was to do what? Just change the ground wire?
Yeah, just open it up,
okay.
Change the ground wire.
Did you, in fact, drill a new hole into the back plate?
Okay, here.
Okay.
Probably customer use a lot. Turn, and the two screw push in.
Okay.
The small circuit board behind the two screw got pushed out. His mixer is not working because this switch, two switch was broken.
Okay.
I have a diagram.
So I decide this is an empty spot. So make a new screw because he tell me, he give me the direction, do whatever you can do and make it work.
Okay.
So I drill the hole here. I put the terminal.
So the answer is yes, you drilled a new hole,
I
and
did.
you did that because you figured that would make it work.
That's correct. He can put two wire here, or he can use the banana cable and don't have to turn, because I fixed these two, they're gonna come back next week again.
Okay, now did you ever explain to him that you were gonna drill a new hole in the back plate?
He give me...
The answer is no, right? You guys didn't actually talk about how you were gonna fix it. He just told, according to you, he just told you fix it, and so you decided to fix it that way. Okay. Now, you didn't like that.
Right, because
and it's not a matter of the sound quality or whatever else, you just didn't like that they drilled a hole into it.
Exactly.
Okay. Was it working?
Yes, it was, ma'am.
Okay, so you wanted it the way it was before, which was
working condition.
But I guess it's accurate, though, that that's how you just, you know, after a certain amount of use and you're screwing it and screwing the ground wire.
Right.
Okay. All right, in any event, you know, in your answer, one of the things that you say is that the reason you drilled a new hole is because you didn't have a screw the right size to replace the screw that he'd stripped.
No, well, yeah, the screw that he had put in, the threads on it had went over time, and he just kept, he had continually turned it.
So couldn't you also, I realize that you fixed it the way he said, but couldn't you have fixed it, you know, perhaps a more appropriate way by not drilling a new hole, by just having the screws?
Well, if we had the screws and put it in, like he was saying, if we put the original screws back, it would have eventually, over time, have broken on him
I don't think he has a problem with that. I think he has a problem with the idea that now he can't sell that to somebody else because it's got a new hole in it. That's his, so, I mean, you know, if what he asked was fix it, and you can fix it by just putting in the screws, new screws that aren't stripped, is the problem that you didn't have that size screws?
Well, the thing is, we had a different type of screw. If he wanted the original screws that were on there, we would have had to order it and have it come in.
What was wrong with that? Why didn't you just communicate with your client and tell him that?
He needed it in a rush.
Okay, but what's the answer to my question? Which is, couldn't you just pick up a phone and tell him, look, we're going to drill a new hole into your unit because we don't have the screws on hand, like that kind of thing. Couldn't you just discuss that with your client? No, you're right. It's a better idea, right? If this ever happens again, you're probably going to discuss it. Okay. Now, yes. What is your relationship?
See the
father and son.
See the mixer? He bring back the second time.
Okay, and what'd you do?
He had brought it back the second time after making a whole scene in the store. And we had told him after, I think, the second visit to the store.
How bad was the scene?
It was pretty bad. He threw a tantrum in the store.
Okay, were there other customers there?
No, thankfully there wasn't. But there were people outside.
What was he saying or doing?
I mean, he was just really just yelling and no one understood.
Who is the lady sitting
we had
there?
To speak to his wife.
This is my wife.
Yeah, the wife? Come on up,
and
wife.
Your Honor, I don't know.
Was he throwing a temper tantrum in the store?
He was. He was. I'm not gonna, you know, my husband has a temper, and I promptly told him to get out the store, and I'll deal directly with them.
Okay.
The bottom line is they drilled a hole.
And did he?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, because he knows his temper?
He knows his temper, and he knows that, you know, sometimes his best cooler head will prevail, and it's time to just
so you talked to them, and the cooler head did prevail, because they offered to you then to what?
We had offered, if he wasn't satisfied with it, that, you know, we would see if we can order a new plate from Newmark, from the manufacturer.
And just replace the plate?
And just replace the plate,
That
put
sounds
the
like a
screws
good
back,
thing.
everything.
What happened?
The model that he has there is discontinued. It's
Oh,
been
so you can't get the
discontinued for a
plate.
while, yeah, so it was unavailable.
Ah.
So what we did is we got the right screws, we put the two original screws back, and we put the third screw, all three matching. So
Okay, so it just looks better. But there's still
just,
like that third
yeah,
hole. So this whole thing is about that third hole?
Yeah.
No, actually it's not, because the bottom line is when we spoke to Newmark, they said that you don't arbitrarily just drill, because you don't know, there's multiple circuit boards.
Yeah, but
in
what
here.
evidence do you have that the arbitrary drilling had a damaging effect?
Well,
Because apparently, according to you, now it works, and it didn't work before, so it did fix it.
It's buzzing on and off. We plugged it in this morning, and we did get sound, but normally the typical thing is just
Yeah, but you could just
buzzing.
say that. You're going to have to prove that.
Yes.
Is it fixed or isn't it? When I asked
no,
that
it's not.
question...
It's not fixed.
Well,
It's
you're
not.
saying no now, but when I asked that earlier, tell me, yeah, now it works. But
Your Honor, also, what we noticed with the mixer, when we went to go get the mixer checked out, the gentleman looked at the mixer, he opens it up, and you can see in the back with the original, you know, pieces, because this is the second mixer. This is both the same mixer. I have two of the same mixers. So basically what he did was...
Where's the extra hole?
The extra hole is here.
That's it. Okay. Does the thing work now? Yes or no?
It's on and off. Yesterday...
How much did you pay for your repair?
I paid $38.
When did you buy that item?
I bought this item back in 2001.
How much did you pay for that mixer?
At the beginning, I didn't pay actually anything. What
Okay,
happened
why?
is, I forget exactly, DM1 mixer, and I shipped it to Newmark to get it fixed. What they did was had a problem, they lost it. So in return, what they did was send me a mixer.
They replaced it with this mixer.
Right, and
but
what
you had a mixer that you sent to them that they lost.
Right, exactly.
Okay, what is okay, do you have any proof of the value of that object if it were in good working condition?
Yes.
Let's see what you have.
I have different prices I pay, Your Honor.
You have evidence that somebody sells it for $315, $399, $314, $414. Okay, so you printed out a bunch of different. So where do you come off asking for $700?
Now, I'm sure that you may reward me or award it to me. My main concern is, you know, was for him to fix what he made wrong, because it was no purpose for him to drill any hole or cut anything out. So, you know, the mixes now is a shamble and it's a piece of garbage. It's not the issue about the money, it's just the principle behind it. This is,
Yes,
you know,
I find
this
that small claims is often taking up a great deal of judicial time for principle. Court is in recess.
All rise. Does the defendant have a screw loose? Will the plaintiff get $738? Judge Millian rules next. So can the defendant drill the hole without the plaintiff's permission?
Of course not. It's not his property, and he had to have permission to do so.
What do you think?
I agree. I think he should have sought permission prior to carrying out any repairs on the property.
Okay, we are going to go inside the courtroom. We will get the final word from Judge Millian.
Okay. Is there a way for you to test that in the courtroom and tell me whether it works or not? Your answer to that is yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, you have a CD player there. When you hook it up, it does not work at all.
Well, it's on and off, sporadically.
Show it to me. Let me hear
Okay.
it. Show me it doesn't work. Okay.
There you go. It's playing. It's supposed to be on.
Do me a favor, Douglas. Can you have our audio person come out here? Okay, it's on now.
Yes.
Is it on now?
Yes.
Okay, am I hearing humming? Am I supposed to be hearing humming?
It's dead. It's sometimes you hear it's dead, and sometimes it's just. Bzzz.
Right now, you say it's on. All right. Can you just? I just want to. Can you take a look at this, Sean, and tell me like if there's something else that should be happening here?
There's not signal here now.
Okay. All right.
me
Let me
just
have you.
double check.
Okay. Go ahead.
There's nothing there.
Right.
Okay. Here's what we got. We've got a piece of equipment that's 6 years old that doesn't work. And the irony is that I thought this was going to be the opposite. I thought you were going to say, it worked great and they broke it, because you're standing here asking for a brand new piece, not just the value of the piece that's broken, but a brand new spanking shining new, you know, bells and whistles piece. But, you know, you don't understand how it hurts you to say that the thing didn't work. If the thing didn't work, then he didn't break it, so you're not going to get the value of even it. No, we're done. Stick a fork in me. That's how done we are, okay? But, you know, so if the thing is broken and it remains broken and they didn't fix it, and they did, then A, you're going to get the $38 back. Let's start with that, because they didn't fix it, so you shouldn't have to pay $38 for it, okay? Start with that. And then B, I have to determine the value of them. I do agree with you that you shouldn't, you know, I bring it to you as a professional. I don't expect you to put spit and bubble gum together to fix it. If you're gonna, can you imagine if you take your car in to the dealership to fix something, and then all of a sudden you see that they've just done this, like, sort of, you know, candy apple way of fixing something that, you know, may work, but frankly, nobody wants it to look that way. Nobody wants the new hole. Nobody wants you cutting the inside. Nobody wants that, because, yeah, you're sort of defacing property, and, you know, whatever market value it does have, which isn't much, okay? But whatever market it's defaced, it's decreased by that, by a couple bucks. You know, is it going to be what he's saying? Absolutely not. Is it going to be a brand new mixer? No. Is it going to be the value of this mixer? Which can, because I ran it and I can get it for $129 because it's discontinued. No, it's not going to be that either, okay? Because he doesn't have a mixer that was working when he brought it to you. He has a mixer that wasn't working. So I've got to assess the measure of damages of defacing his property on a mixer that wasn't working. And that still doesn't work. That's what I have to assess. Now, this is the part of the People's Court where we do what we call a little rough justice. A, you get your $38 back. I am assessing the defacing of a broken item at a very principled $1. $39 verdict for the plaintiff.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's see what the defendant has to say coming out here after this verdict. Come on in here. What do you think of the way this case comes out?
I think it was perfect. It was a perfect.
How come you didn't communicate with your customer? Tell him what was going on, keep in touch with him, tell him what you were doing?
I think he tried to promote himself as a DJ.
Yeah, he's here just.
Did you learn anything about maybe drilling into somebody's equipment without permission?
We'll call the next time then.
There you go. Right down that way. Documents are waiting for you. Let's talk to the DJ now. Hey. Satisfied how this worked out?
Not at all. My thing is that I don't appreciate this guy's dishonesty. It's just, you know, just not even right, you know. If you're going to deal with somebody and deal with their product, at least be able to have a common decency to call them back and stay up on them and let them know the situation with their item.
Harvey in Times Square.
Okay, Kurt, the deal here is you get the value of the item at the time of the loss, which seems unfair in many cases, and is because the customer ends up having to buy a whole new product, and it's going to cost a lot more money than that. But that's the way the law works.